Oh, what's going on, everybody? Welcome to episode 556 of FloWrestling Radio Live. I'm your host, Christian Piles, joined by the not stupid Ben Askren. You know what? I'll say it. I'm going to put it out there. No one here is stupid. You're all smart. And we have a special guest, David Bray. It's not that special. He's done the show probably about 30 times, and he works here.
Kind of a regular guest.
And he's basically in the building every time we do the show. So
Christian, make him feel special. Make him feel special.
He is special. He is special, just like we're all not stupid. We're all special. And he's here for Super 32 goodness. I think I said the wrong number of show that it is.
What are we on here? We've been going for a while.
Yeah. Is it? Wait, 566. I think I said 556.
Yeah.
Jeez. 100 shows from now, we're going to have a decision to make.
Skip that show.
Yeah, we might have to go.
I was thinking about that. I think you do like
655 part 1 and 2.
Or like A and B. Yeah.
Yeah, A and B. We could Roman numeral it, really.
Yeah.
We got a lot of options, but we cannot have. I'm not even gonna say the number.
What if it's just a full Alien Hour episode?
Maybe it should be.
Oh,
That's pretty good. Yeah.
Wow.
Dark Arts special.
Yeah, just straight Harry Potter stuff. Who knows?
Take it easy.
All right, Bracky loves Harry Potter. Hey, we are gonna talk a lot about Super 32, but want to kind of circle back. USA Wrestling had the Zoom call yesterday.
I watched.
You watched. I watched. The American people watched. I found it helpful and informative.
Really?
Really. I really did.
All he kept saying was facts, and I want to say, what facts? What facts?
Oh. You wanted like citations?
Well, no, but I mean, if you're gonna say facts, it's like, I mean, the only real thing I could think, Christian, is that he could say like the hotels in Serbia suck. There's no way we're putting one of our athletes there. And to which I would reply, number one, I don't think it's not all that likely anyone gets it. Number two, these healthy world-class athletes likely aren't going to get sick if they do get it. Number three, I would say set up a field hospital somewhere. I mean, the chances that a world-class athlete gets so sick they're going to be on a ventilator is really, really, really far away.
Well, it's not just world-class athletes that are going. One.
Well,
two,
listen, I'm not going to send a very, very overweight senior official. I'm not going to do that. I'll send healthy young officials to get the job done.
Well, not official. I mean, listen, that the part of the delegation is a larger group of people. One. Two, I think, what if someone gets it and they have to quarantine? They can't come back and they can't come back to the country, and there's all these weird restrictions.
Can't quarantine for 2 weeks? So what?
You don't think that's
the risk you take?
Well,
listen, Christian, I'm going to Singapore in a month, and listen, one of the risks I know I'm going to take is that I'm going to have to quarantine for 2 weeks.
Yeah,
it's part of the risk. It's simple. Life has risks and rewards. If you want to go to the World Championships, you might have to get quarantined. Tough shit.
Well, the arena is literally a COVID overflow hospital right now.
Well, listen, if it still stays there, then they're probably going to cancel the Worlds. So then the onus isn't on you. You did your best to go, and it just didn't happen. Sorry.
Or maybe they have good foresight, and it just makes sense. And maybe Serbia is not being super forthright with their corona numbers,
Christian,
like many countries aren't.
But okay, listen, Serbia is not China, and even if they're lying by, what do you want to say, 50%, 60%, 70%, they're still way lower than Wisconsin. And they have, right? And the population of Serbia is 7 million. The population of Wisconsin is roughly 6 million. They're relatively similar. So we're just talking state by state, not country by country. It's still way lower. Wisconsin has had over 4,000 cases the last couple of days. Serbia has reported 300. So even if you want to triple, quadruple, you're still way less. The reported hospitalizations are still a fraction of what we have in Wisconsin. There's just not justification.
Well, if there's only 400 hospitalizations, why would they have a 500-bed overflow COVID hospital?
Listen, I don't know. They did that. They did that in Wisconsin.
Just for kicks?
Yeah, well, they did that in Wisconsin, and there was, they never used it. They put it up, they tore it down. And I know they said they used the one in Serbia, and I cannot confirm nor deny that. But again, if they're using it at the time of the World, and it's really that bad, then the Worlds won't happen, and then the onus isn't on us.
Yeah. Okay. Well, you're insatiable. That is clear.
Well, I mean, and Christian, at the end of the day, and then my bigger problem, right? My bigger problem is if this organization is going to say we are safety first, we want to care about the safety. I could get down with that. I mean, it's not what I would do, but I could get down with that. The problem I really have is the hypocrisy of then holding these events. And Rich Bennett kept saying, well, if you don't know the difference between Serbia and Iowa, then I can't help you. Well, listen, Rich, you didn't cite it. I mean, the only thing you could say, literally the only thing would be hospitals. That's it, because corona cases, way higher. Amount of people competing, significant. I mean, we're talking 10, 20, 50 times higher, right? Overweight people in the Midwest, way higher. And so what facts in that case are you going to cite that makes Iowa different than Serbia? Because in Serbia, you're sending probably a total contingent of around 50 people, somewhere, give or take a couple.
Mm-hmm.
And you can get in and out quickly. They're all professionals. They're not youth amateur athletes. And I hate saying like, oh, this tournament doesn't matter. I don't like doing that in any way, shape, or form for any tournament. But are we going to act like the preseason nationals matters as much as the world championships? Is that really what we're going to act like? Because it doesn't, right? That's the freaking world championships. That is the pinnacle of our sport. So I'm not seeing the difference. I'm saying Serbia poses a lot less danger to that very small contingent than it does. 5,000 people likely will be going to Des Moines, Iowa for the preseason nationals in 2 weeks. And your safety protocols are not all that stringent. I was just at a national level event. So if you want to say safety first, I can get down with that. What I can't get down with is the hypocrisy of trying to hold two truths simultaneously, which are direct opposition to each other.
Why would USA Wrestling not want to go to Worlds? It doesn't make sense. It's like their thing. It's like the pinnacle. It's the most important thing.
This is what I'm telling you, Christian. This is tell me how you can hold both those truths to be similar. If you want to say safety is first, safety is our immediate priority. If you want to say that, how do you then also do these other things?
Well,
I was at the event last weekend. I wasn't at Senior Nationals. I was at the event last weekend, and I can tell you the safety protocols were very lax. I can tell you that for a fact. And if you want me to go through the very specific things, I will, but I don't know that I need to.
No, I don't think it's necessary at all. I just think, listen, USA Wrestling is going to want to send people to Worlds, period. That's what they're going to want to do. So if it's going to be possible, they're going to, yeah, exactly. If they can do it, they'll do it. They don't think it's possible. No one would want to do it more than them. But if it's a
safety thing, what safety thing am I missing? What am I just tell me what I'm missing. And this is where, listen, I haven't done the research that Rich Bender did. I haven't done the research that the executive committee did. Tell me where I'm missing. Don't just tell me facts. That's what in that call yesterday, they just said facts. I want to know what I'm missing. Maybe I am stupid. Maybe there's something I'm not recognizing. I mean, the one thing that I think of is maybe you could say the hospitals are dog crap. We do not want a person ending up in a Serbian hospital. That will be really, really, really bad. Maybe that's what you want to say. And if that's your answer, give me that answer. But don't tell me facts, because
I think they did.
I want to know what you're thinking.
I think they essentially mentioned that.
What did they say?
I thought they talked about the medical. I mean, they didn't say
they spoke
they weren't
in these, like really broad terms.
They're not going to say Serbian hospitals are crap, Ben. They're going to speak around. They're going to say, hey, yeah, the facilities or the this or the technology, whatever. They're not going to get so specific. It's a governing body. It's not you on a podcast, so they're gonna have to be a little more delicate.
Christian, me on a podcast. And you're not giving yourself enough credit. We reach significantly more people than that Zoom call.
No. That's not my point. Obviously, that's true. I'm saying you on a podcast, you're going to speak more freely than a governing body is about a decision to not send someone to World. So while
sure, you can't throw Serbia under the bus. I get it, but you can say factual things. If they're facts, you can say them.
Yeah, and I think that's what they did, just more broadly and less on the nose, as you would.
Yeah, I don't know.
More and more, I'm wondering if there even is going to be a Worlds. I know UWW has November 6th is like the date they can say, all right, maybe this isn't going to happen. I applaud them for trying to do it. Just like, if USA was going, I would applaud that decision too. I think it'd be great, but. The way it's trending, it seems like it's going to be tough. And what's they need? What percentage of the countries, or what's the minimum countries they're going to need for it to?
I believe it's 8 of the top 10.
Yeah.
And 70%, right? It's like that
Well,
combination.
so we're making that really tough because now it's essentially 9 of the top 10 because we ain't going.
We were barely top 10.
Yeah, 8 of the top 10 and 70% of all teams from 2009 must compete for there to be Worlds.
8 of the top 10. So if 2 more countries say no, they're out. So I don't know who that would be. I mean, we know the usual suspects, Russia, Iran. And is that total medal?
Russia, them dudes didn't have masks on. You see that last weekend in the Nationals? At their Nationals, barely anyone in the crowd had masks on.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, they eradicated
and it was
quickly.
packed.
Big crowd, yeah.
Yeah.
Almost looked like a Trump rally.
Oh, my gosh. All right. Then.
Well, listen, I don't know who I'm voting for, Christian. All I'm saying is Trump's got a lot of people at his rallies, and it seems to be packed.
Yeah. And also, as you mentioned, Corona is spiking all around the country.
But not at Trump rallies. No one can get him there. And you can't get him at protests either.
You can't. That's true.
FYI.
That's true. Both of those places, all the people involved say, no, we're cool here. We're cool to protest and, rob a Foot Locker and all this stuff. And we're cool to go to Trump rallies. Both are immune. It's very strange times.
Yes.
Okay. Let's talk Super 32.
Let's do it. I'm excited. I'm so excited.
Ben was not allowed to go. He was told by his leadership at Aspen Wrestling Academy, you don't get to go. That's unfortunate. Maybe next year for Ben. But we brought David Brakes. He is our high school ranker and our high school expert. And I need to learn a lot about this. And I think a lot of our listeners are big college fans, so they want to know, well, why do I care about the Super 32, David?
There's a lot of reasons to care, and man, we've kind of covered every single weight class. So if you haven't started looking at the weight class previews, you should. We've got one for all 14 weights. I think the one that people are going to be really familiar with from following who's number one is 126 because of the action that's happening at the top. This is the one that you got to circle if you're like, all right, I'm going to watch one weight class. I would say 126 is the one, and we've got Drake Ayala, who is coming off his insane win over Richie Figueroa, and he's going to have a potential finals matchup with Jordan Titus. So,
oh my gosh,
yeah, that match is the one that I'm like salivating over. Can't wait to see.
That match would be insane. Have they ever wrestled?
No, I don't believe so. I don't believe they have.
What about Dean Peterson? Is he not going?
Peterson's not going to be there. So yeah, man. Those are the two guys at the top, but then there are a total of 11 ranked guys in that bracket. So, it's going to be packed. And so, I mean, for either of those guys to navigate the whole tournament, don't be surprised if either one of them hits a bump along the road, but I think that's the final we're going to see. And I don't know. What do you guys think about that matchup?
Yeah. I think it's interesting because the scrambling of Titus and just now the top game, I'm like, all right, well, yeah, he's good on top, but I just watched Ayala get away in 5 seconds against who I thought was one of the best top wrestlers in the country. And so, Ayala had this like singular focus on Figueroa and had a very Figueroa specific game plan executed and won. So what is going to be interesting is he going to be able to do this match after match against all these different dudes. And, Titus, I think he has a good style to make a really deep run. I agree that I think the match is going to happen. Oh my gut is I really like Titus. It's tough to pick against Ayala after doing what he did.
Yeah.
But I really think it's close to a coin flip, and I might lean Jordan Titus here.
Isn't it interesting the Shin Wizard thing that he caught Dean Peterson in a couple times and he almost caught him again, and Figueroa shoots so many single legs.
Yeah,
that's gonna be isn't that gonna be the battle?
Ayala, yeah.
No, I'm saying the Shin Wizard. Ayala's gonna shoot a single leg,
yeah,
and Titus is gonna try to get his Shin Wizard. That's gonna be the battle right there.
Yeah. Or could he blow his doors off on a double like he did? He shot through Dean Peterson's face.
That's the combination that he has that
because most scramblers aren't blow through you guys. He's a scrambler, a really good scrambler who can blow through you.
Yeah, that's the combo that how do you prepare for that? And I think Dean Peterson had to feel it one time before he could make the
felt
adjustment.
Right in the face area.
Yeah, but I mean, he had to lose to him in a match last year.
Oh, yeah.
To prepare and to kind of know what that Jonesy felt like. That is one of those moves that you're like, I would not go over in that. Like, there, I don't care what you say, I wouldn't go over it, but had to feel it.
I'd go over.
You go.
I watched that like, oh, that happened to
Yeah,
me.
yeah.
That definitely happened to me.
But yeah, so I'm really curious about that matchup. Ayala is, I mean, he's as hot as anybody in the country right now. Pulled off a win that nobody thought he would, and so that's the one that I'm curious about. I think I'm going to lean Ayala. He seems super focused, and the way that he beat Richie was just like, he's so dogged in that. He's just a dogged guy in that match, like just scratch and claw for every point, and maybe end up grabbing the singlet or grabbing the shirt every once in a while, but doing whatever it took to win. And if he has that same level of intensity, I think I'm going Ayala here.
What do you think, Ben?
Yeah, I think it's gonna be a battle. I think I'll pick Ayala just because I saw him beat Richie Figueroa a couple weeks back. Titus, it'll be interesting to see how much more in shape he is. He got very, very, very tired in the Dean Peterson match. And listen, they wrestle hard, so we kind of should have got tired.
I was gonna say, man, they were really, there were so many exchanges. Remember in the early goings?
Yeah, they wrestled hard.
Yeah.
Yeah,
there were a lot fewer exchanges in like the Ayala Figueroa match. It was very calculated, hand down. They were both very cautious with each other.
Yeah. Yeah, so I would go Ayala, but if Titus comes in better shape, I think obviously his chances to win go way up. Oh, hey, I got a conspiracy theory for you, Christian. Can we interrupt? It's very important. Someone smart said it to me last night, and I said, "Holy crap! How did I not think of that?"
Okay,
you want to hear it?
Yeah, who doesn't?
Jordan Burroughs is going up to do money matches against our number 1 and 2, 86 kilogram. He's testing the waters.
No.
Yeah.
No.
He is.
Not.
That's the only way it makes sense. He is.
No.
Testing the waters. Yes, he is. Yes, he is.
Yes. He just did an interview with Bader, and he said, I will only compete at 74 kilos.
Obviously, if you told everyone, it wouldn't be a secret, Christian. Come on.
He doesn't look, in the interview, he doesn't look any bigger. He's not going
Christian,
up to
why did he make me wrestle 173 pounds or whatever the hell when we wrestled? When I was a very minimal threat to him, but he's making Zahid. He's going up to 185 for Zahid and David. Like, that just doesn't make sense.
Maybe he just didn't like you, Ben. He just wanted you to cut weight. Maybe he likes
no
Zahid.
Good.
Yeah, I'm sorry. You've really hung on to the wound of having to cut weight and beat the streets.
You
referenced it no less than 10 times.
I cut 11 and a half pounds in 18 hours after coaching at Freestyle State. It was crap. But listen. I'm sorry you can't see between the lines, but Jordan Burroughs is testing a move to 186 kilograms.
I think
he almost missed weight at 2017 trials, right?
19. But the only one testing the
19.
waters here is Zahid. I think he's the tweener.
No, I think Jordan's testing the waters. He's moving up. He's seeing how good David and Zahid are, and he's thinking about moving up.
All right, bet me a Bitcoin, buddy. Let's do it.
Well, here's I think
1/42 of a Bitcoin, whatever that is right now.
Bitcoin's going.
Don't get him started.
I'm teeing him up
now.
No, don't do this.
On a heater.
Kyle, you broke 13,000 yesterday.
Well, now it's less.
No, it's 13,000 right now. I just checked my app.
All right. Well, by the end of the show, it's going to be under 13. Bet.
By the end of the day, it will not be under 13. Okay. Anyways, I'll bet you that. Listen, Jordan Burroughs is testing the waters at 86 kilograms. That's what I'm telling you. It's harder than he thinks to make. Harder than you think it is for him to make 74 kilograms.
No,
I don't think anyone said it was easy, but he's not. We literally just watched an interview with him this morning where he sits there and tells Bader no, because Bader's like,
listen,
after 2021, will you ever go up? And he said no. 74 kilos.
If it was
my weight
a
class
secret,
forever.
he wouldn't tell everyone. If it was a secret, he wouldn't tell everyone.
What do you think he's just gonna?
He's smart. He's
Okay.
smart. He's not dumb.
Bitcoin's at 12,971 right now. He's not going up to 86. No way. Not happening.
Listen, why would he go wrestle the number 1 and 2 people at 86?
Make money.
To make money.
It's legacy
To-
stuff.
to-
too.
Test the waters.
to
And
rest-
test the waters.
No. There's not many guys. Listen, there's a competitive advantage that comes when you wrestle someone, right?
What do you
And-
mean?
Okay. You don't want to wrestle all the 74 kilogram best when these are the guys that are trying to take him out. He's not going to want to wrestle. I mean, I'm not speaking for Jordan. I'm just assuming he's not going to want to wrestle.
Well, he doesn't want to wrestle Dake. That's established. Whether
Yeah.
it's competitively or just because he doesn't like him.
He does. Yes, he does not like Kyle Dake. They are not friends. And I think, Imar's beating him, and Mekhi Lewis is young talent. So I think it's like, well, I want matches, but I don't really want to wrestle these guys. So why don't I just go up and test myself against a Zahid Valencia at 185 pounds? While I'm at it, why don't I move to like 4-0 against David Taylor? And if it's kind of if he loses at 74, it's kind of like this is a guy that talks a lot about his legacy. If he loses a match at 74 kilograms, it's like, oh man, you lost to this guy or that guy at your weight. You lose to David Taylor at 185 or 86. It's like, well, that's the world champ up a weight who hasn't lost since 2017. There's no shame in that. So I think that's part of it.
Listen. So I think he's gonna realize how big David Taylor is. And then he's gonna say, okay, maybe 86 ain't my jam here, and he'll go back down to 74. That's what I think is gonna happen.
Yeah. Okay. So we haven't yet talked about this. I guess
We didn't talk about this.
We have not talked about the.
Are you sure?
I'm pretty sure.
We have not talked about their most recent tweets, if that's what
Yes.
you're going to get to.
Really?
1 second.
Yeah. So after Worlds was officially, or USA announced they're not going, Jordan tweets, "Hey, I haven't. My December's freed up. Let's wrestle." Right, and David wants to do it. So Jordan, yes, he is testing the waters. He wants to wrestle Zahid. He apparently wants to wrestle David Taylor. But
He is wrestling Zahid. That's done.
Yeah, he's wrestling Zahid, November 14th.
Yes.
Live on FloWrestling.org.
So
What
please,
time?
We'll say 7. I bet
Sounds good.
if you turn it at 7, you're probably gonna be in good shape. Okay. So
Deal.
But with David, I think it's just a different situation. I think it's gonna be a really, really tough match.
Yeah, David's so. I mean, I feel like David. I don't know what they're going to weigh in at, and I don't know what the weigh-in procedures will be. But David's significantly bigger. I feel like
He's taller. He's big. I mean, he's just overall a bigger person. And I mean, their matches were not bloodbaths.
they were so close.
No, he beat him sort of soundly once when he in like 2013, and then U.S.
no,
Open.
that was 2012. Wasn't it 2012? It was earlier. It was way earlier. And
It was 13.
David was still in college.
Yeah, it was 13, and then
Okay.
in 14 they wrestled twice in the trials, and they were good matches, right? I don't think David ever won one.
David
He
never
definitely
won.
didn't win one, but I'm trying to say, was he in the lead at any point? I don't think. Maybe, but
Well, yes, he was. Are you kidding me? He was up 6-3 with like 30 seconds left. Piles, remember he came back and got 2
that
takedowns
was the
later.
open. That was
Classic
the open.
KB.
That was the open.
Oh well.
I'm talking about
Okay.
trials.
Okay.
Yes, of course, the iconic U.S. Open match. But I mean, in trials, I didn't think they ever had a. I don't know if he was ever losing or whatever. But anyway, I think it's just a different David Taylor now, and that was 6
I
years
agree.
ago.
Smaller,
Here's a tweet
much
from
smaller
David Taylor.
Yeah, much smaller. So yeah, I don't know if the match happens. I don't know how Burroughs is a favorite, even though all things being equal, sure I pick him, but you can't be 20 pounds smaller. He might be more than 20 pounds smaller than David, right? David gets well over 200, I'm sure.
Well, I would guess. I mean, listen, I said I don't know what they're going to do for weigh-in procedures, but I would have to guess that it's going to be like 3 hours before 185, 190, somewhere in there.
Right.
That's what I would guess Burroughs would want.
Yeah. Well, sign me up for that.
Hey, remember how he made me make 173?
Yeah.
Just in case you forgot
I don't-
3 minutes ago.
Yeah, I remember that. I remember watching you cut the weight at
So
the
does that
NYAC.
Does that mean he's more scared of me than David Taylor?
I think there's no question about it.
No question.
Yeah. That's funny.
Oh, jeez. Yeah. Okay, so he's testing the waters up to 86. All right, back to Super 32.
Yes. Super 32. Wait, Bracky, who do you like at 26?
Probably Ayala. I don't know. After watching him against Figueroa, I just think he finds a way.
All right. So I'm on Titus Island here.
Man, I want to see it though. That like I just can't. When I think Jordan Titus now, like there's the only thing I can think about is that opening scramble with he and Peterson. It just like went on forever, and it was like,
So good.
oh yeah, so good. So yeah, 126 is gonna be awesome just for that matchup alone, and there's a ton of crazy depth. 120, I think Bracky, you wrote the preview for 120, and that
Nope.
I thought wrong, but 120 is maybe the deepest weight class. There are 13 ranked guys and 4 126 pounders coming down. I think probably most of those guys are going to bump back up after this event. It's something that happens at Super 32 where guys will just like descend for one event and then they'll go back up.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, some of the names in this bracket are pretty interesting. Cooper Flynn, number 3 at 126. And Troy Spratley, number 4 at 126. Shout out to Spratley. He just committed to Minnesota this week. Those guys are in there. Gary Steen is in there. Mason Gibson is in there. Gibson, by the way, just knocked off Steen last weekend at the PA Power True Power event.
And won Super 32 last year as an 8th grader.
As an 8th grader at 106. So I'm super interested in him. Cash Raymond is number 7. Tyler Kasich, Mac Church, Nicola Rivera, those guys are all top 12, and then there are more ranked guys after that. But that's a field that I think could look really interesting, could go a lot of different ways. And I think the biggest question here at 120 is Mason Gibson. Like, how good is this kid up at 120? Does he win his second Super 32 title? And now he's just now as a freshman, and that win that he had over Gary Steen, he looked incredible. Steen is a guy who's been really, really good on the scene for a long time, and a guy that you would think could pose some serious problems for a freshman. He's really good on the mat, tough to take down, really good defensively. And Gibson it was a close match, 3-2, but Gibson looked like he is going to get the better of that matchup probably time after time. So I kind of think he can win it. And I mean, that would be like just, adding more fuel to the fire of this kid's legacy. He's just a 9th grader. So Gibson, I think, probably is my pick there, but he's going to have to run a gauntlet to do it. So, yeah, I don't know. What do you think, Bracky? You said this is one of your favorite weights.
Yeah, I really like it. I think Cooper Flynn is awesome. He committed to Virginia Tech earlier this summer. And then Spratley, we saw him this summer working out with like Thomas Gilman and Sammy Sasso and some of those guys at those Oklahoma camps. But after watching Gibson this past weekend, I kind of feel like he's the guy again, which is crazy to say.
Yeah, I'm all in. Having watched him last year, I thought he looked really good against Steen. I think he's going to be really hard for guys to score on him. And I think that, and he has really consistent, safe offense. He's a really good hand fighter for a freshman. Yeah, I think he's the pick, though. Cooper Flynn obviously looms large.
What do you think, Ben?
Man, I feel like I am too uneducated on these guys to make that pick. I mean, I know these guys, I know their names, but I've probably seen them all wrestle 2 matches or 3 matches. I don't think I've ever seen Spratley, actually. So, yeah, that's why I said we should bring someone else on here, because I'm not going to be super a big help with these guys.
Someone had a question, some of the Wisconsin guys to watch. Are there some Wisconsin guys maybe that aren't in your club that you don't want to put pressure on, that are tough, that are entered here that you know of? Or did you just take all the good wrestlers?
Well,
If that's
not
true,
we
it's
don't have
okay.
all of them yet. We have 20. I mean, we have 29 going this weekend, so yeah, we're gonna have a lot of people there. The 2 that are not from my club, I feel like I should look at a list. There should be a state list somewhere. The 2 that are not from my club that I think would be in there would be Nicola Rivera and Blaine Brenner would be the two that I would say would be really good, just kind of off the top of my head that I think would have a chance of placing. I think that maybe 120 and 126 or 120 and 132, somewhere around there.
Yeah.
Might be the
Nicola
best
Rivera's
deal.
in here at 120. And I actually wanted to ask you about him. He's like, he's a guy who'll have like a takedown go viral every once in a while on social media because he's just like, he's tries things that are unconventional, really exciting. And how do you think he can do in a really deep field?
So what I would say about him is he doesn't have a lot of basics, but the thing he does really well, he just wrestles his ass off all the time, and he's gonna throw stuff at you. He's gonna throw the kitchen sink at you literally for 6 minutes from every different angle, and he's really good at putting people on their backs. So what I mean to me, what that says in a field like this is he's definitely gonna have some big wins. But it's going to be really challenging for him to put match after match after match after match together because really you're probably, and in this field, you're going to have to beat 5 really good guys. We're going to say from the round of 32 on, you're going to have really tough matches is what I would guess. Because he'll probably be somewhere, I don't know, between a 6 and 10 seed is what I would guess. So, yeah, round of 32 on, and who knows, maybe even around 64, you're going to have someone really tough. So putting that many really good matches together is going to be a challenge.
Yeah, it'll be interesting. He took a kind of an unexpected loss sometime this summer. I'm trying to remember where, but it's one of those things where he can take a loss, but like you said, he can knock some guys off. So that weight class is going to be wild. I can't wait to see what happens there.
Okay. Who are some of the guys college fans should be keeping an eye on here? Some of the top recruits that are going to be in the mix.
Bradkey, you got to be feeling pretty good about West Virginia. We've already talked about the two big ones for West Virginia, and Jordan Titus and Cooper Flynn.
He's going to Virginia Tech.
Flynn's going Virginia Tech. So man, Virginia, you got to be feeling good.
Bradkey
You got to be
likes them
feeling good.
also.
Bradkey's got his college situation lined up because he likes both those schools. South Dakota State has 4 guys committed. They have 3 of them are ranked. They've got Connor Gaynor, Derek Cardinal, Alex Martin, and Roman Rogotsky committed. So South Dakota State fans probably pretty fired up. NC State with a bunch of guys. Penn with a bunch of guys. I think Penn, we talked about them over kind of beginning of quarantine and into the summer that they were having this crazy recruiting success, bringing in guy after guy after guy. And so it'll be interesting to see how those guys finish. They've got at 126, Kelly Dunnigan from Jersey. At 32, Nico Nardone. He's 4th, and he's also a Jersey guy. Like almost all these guys are Jersey guys. They've got Kyle Hosserman, who's a PA guy. He's a senior at 38. 52, they've got Andrew Truchinski at 152, and then Martin Cosgrove at 195. So they are pulling in those Jersey kids strong, and they're going to, I think, have a pretty good showing here. So Penn, 5 guys. Mentioned NC State, and they're probably their top recruit in this field is Chase Horn. He's going to be really tested.
Yeah, we got to talk about that weight.
Heavyweight, yeah, it's one where the top 3 guys in the country are all there, and not a ton of other ranked guys. So we should, I think, get to see those matchups we're hoping for, which would be Hayden Kopis and Keontae Hamilton probably in a semi, and then Chase Horn will get the winner. Kopis is the guy that some people were hoping to see at who's number 1. He took a couple losses over the summer, and that bumped him out,
including to Horn,
one to Chase Horn. And he's like, I don't know. Mike broke this down really well on the site. He's a little bit more of a traditional heavyweight, really big, bully you, beat you up, and uses physicality to win. And then we've seen Keontae and Chase Horn at who's number 1. We know the athleticism there and the really high skill set. So it's kind of that prototypical heavyweight against the kind of the more athletic breed of heavyweight. And I think before Hamilton moved up from 220, before, like at the end of last year, if we didn't know that Horn and Hamilton were going to move up, then you probably would think Kopis would be number 1. But now he's number 3, and I don't know. I'm curious to know how he'll do in this field, and I don't think I would pick him to beat Keontae in the semis, which I think means we're probably going to get a rematch in the finals. And I don't know. I want to know if Keontae's made any adjustments in that match.
Yeah, that match surprised me. It surprised most everyone how it materialized. My question is, it's got to be like the best heavyweight class at Super 32 like ever. This is very rare.
Definitely.
You get all these guys.
It's the only weight with 1, 2, 3.
Holy cow!
Yeah.
So that's gonna be awesome. All right, very exciting times.
Also,
right.
too,
What
you're
about-
talking about the college thing.
Yeah.
If you look at the guys on the other end that are uncommitted, there's only 16 left on the class of 2021 big board that are uncommitted, and a number of those guys will be in action. Evan Bates, Brandon Hostin, Jake Evans, Nick Moore, Ramon Ramos, Vinny Zerbin. But then the juniors is really loaded with Nick Bouzakis, Rylan Rogers, Matthew Singleton, Anthony Ferrari.
Oh,
Gains a clock.
Gains a clock, baby.
He's the highest ranked guy at 152, but I mean, he's really good too. Just like gonna be really good, like AJ was. Nicola Rivera, looking down through here, but yeah, the junior class has, I mean, over 20 guys on the big board that are still uncommitted and will be in action.
Who can beat Bouzakis? Is he a huge favorite here?
I think so. Bouzakis, he's number 1 in the class of 2022, and it's because he has won like everything since Fargo 2019. The only match he lost in the Powerade finals on an illegal slam call where the wrestler was unable to continue. Questionable slam call at that, but he doesn't lose. And in high school, like everybody loses. Everybody takes losses. I mean, think about the top guys in the class of 2021 right now. Like Richie has taken a loss. Facundo has taken losses. Patty Gallagher has. I mean, all these guys have taken losses. Steve-O, right? He just has taken 2 losses this fall.
Ayala lost earlier this summer.
Yeah.
Ayala lost twice this summer. I mean, so all these guys take losses, and Bouzakis just hasn't. He's wrestled like an entire year. I think the last loss I can think of is Akron, and so it's just super, super hard to pick against this guy. But his weight class is stacked. Let me see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 11 more ranked guys in there, including 3, 4, 5, 7, 9, 10. I mean, it's going to be a field that's going to test him. But I mean,
7 of the top 10.
7 of the top 10 are in there. Problem is, like, Nico Nardone, he's the guy that Bouzakis beat in the finals last year. It was not super close. I don't know. The Renneria match could be interesting, but Bouzakis is just I think he's in this deep a field about as big a favorite as you probably have against a 3.
Right.
But it's gonna be great to see him because we didn't get him at who's number 1.
Right.
But dude, he's been wrestling. I think he's had 13, 14 matches this fall between Grappler Fall Classic and Olympic Club Duels. He's just been he's been sharpening those skills. I think he's gonna be a guy that, like, if you're setting your arena alerts for like 5 guys, make sure he's one of them because he's gonna burgers and fries. He's gonna set. He's worth watching like every time he steps on the map.
Okay, who are some of the other just absolute elite, best of the best guys that are coming? Bouzakis, Ayala, in the mix. Who else?
Let's see. Rylan Rogers is gonna be back.
Oh baby.
The last time we saw him, he lost to Lenny Pinto, but I think he's a guy that that you absolutely have to watch. And same goes for Seth Shoemate. Similar to Rogers, he took a loss, but he's gonna be back. And that kid is really, really good. He's coming off the loss, and he looked like he still needed to get his lungs figured out a little bit when we saw him at who's number 1. But I think he's gonna have that ready for this weekend. And so Shoemate is another guy that I think you just have to keep your eyes on for sure.
Yeah, who could challenge him in this?
At 195,
is he a pretty big favorite?
I think he's a decent favorite. Brandon Hazelton, an Illinois kid, He's
in the
number
finals
5
last year.
Yep, he was a finalist last year. He's super good. Evan Bates is another guy on
Top 40 guy on the 2021 big board.
Yep, we've got. I think we have school lists for both those guys actually.
Yeah, Hosselton's list was pretty big just because they were much further back in the recruiting process than they thought they would be with the shutdown. Bates was down to like 3 though. It was like Northwestern, I think Indiana, and Cornell.
Yeah. But those are probably the 2 biggest challengers for Shoemate. But I don't know. I think he's a favorite here for sure. So that kid, man, he's really offensive, and I don't think people that watch Who's Number One maybe realize how offensive he is because Piccolo's defense was just like so solid. But even in that match, I mean, he was attacking a lot. He wasn't scoring. So Shoemate's gonna be a lot of fun.
All right. Well, we can't wait. Starts Saturday, Sunday.
Saturday morning.
Yeah.
Saturday morning. You're headed to Myrtle Beach. Have you ever been there?
Never been to Myrtle Beach.
Some great putt there.
I keep hearing that. What's going on with the putt-putt?
Well, I was kind of kidding. Well, I mean, you take your pick. You got pirate themed.
It's a big beach thing.
You know.
Okay.
Do they have beaches I guess in Colorado you don't go to beaches.
You don't go to beaches in Colorado, no.
Yeah.
No.
Okay, well, yeah, lots of putt to be played. Most of it's pirate themed, but that's fun.
Do I need to pack my pirate gear?
You should have it. I mean, you'll probably get a discount. Caleb got a hole-in-one when we went putt last time, and we still have the certificate for a free round. But we didn't get to spend it, so maybe I'll get that to you so you can take the boys out for a nice little treat.
That'd be great.
Okay. Anything else on Super 32?
I'm super interested in the lightweights, 106 and 113. I think a lot of these weights, like, they're so deep that you have a ton of juniors and seniors, but especially 106, it's young guys and it's the crop that's coming. I mean, last year this is when we learned about when everybody kind of learned about Mason Gibson, and 106 is a weight where there's just like there's not a real clear favorite, and there's these young faces that you're going to be seeing for a long time. So that's one that I think people should really follow, even though you might not recognize a lot of the names right now. And yeah, there's just really no true favorite. The top 2 kids in the country here have taken losses. Vinny Kilkery and Nate Jezeroga, both taken losses in somewhat recent memory. But there are double-digit ranked kids, and all but one are freshmen and sophomores. So keep your eyes on that bracket. It's going to be it's going to be kind of the bracket of the future. So I would watch that one. I would also check out, if you're a college fan, get on the site. We got a lot of breakdowns with all the college committed guys and uncommitted guys like Brad Key referred to, and Seth Duckworth did one for Oklahoma State fans to follow. And so there's just a bunch of good college stuff on there. I would make sure you get familiar with all that stuff.
Okay. All right. I just saw something on the page here.
Yes.
Is there another Jordan? Barrick Jordan?
Yeah.
Graham Hines. Tell me about it. I love the Jordans.
Who's he related to?
I don't know which
He's not
part
Bo's,
of the...
Bo's first child is not in high school yet, right?
I don't think it's Bo's,
okay.
I don't think it's Bo's son. I don't know what branch of the family tree he's growing off of, but that kid's good, man. He's wrestled a lot this summer. Did
they bring him to your thing, Ben?
Yeah, he was at our duels. He really impressed me. Good. I think he had a good dump right into a tilt series.
I bet he has a good single leg. If I had to guess.
I think it was more of a dump. I don't think he was shooting regular single legs.
They're gonna get that cleaned up. He's gonna be shooting singles. Coming out the back door.
By this weekend, probably.
All right. Well, always excited for another Jordan in the mix. Okay. Well, cool. Good stuff. Safe travels to you and the whole gang, and everyone headed to.
Joe Caprino says he's not related to Jim or Jeff.
Come on.
Really?
Who is he then?
He's related to someone. Did he just is it a Gracie situation?
I was just
like
gonna ask. Did he marry himself in?
Yeah, it's
like Caleb Brand
changed his last name. I don't know. Until proven otherwise, he's part of the family tree. Okay. Barrick is a pretty good name too. Barrick.
I never heard the name Barrick. Have you?
No, but I like it.
He's at Graham.
Barack. Familiar with that one?
Someone said he's from Arizona.
He's from Arizona?
Oh
man.
That doesn't make any sense.
I get it.
Well, it
So
makes
is he
sense
in-
in that people move all the time to wrestle at good high schools.
People move to Graham
Yeah.
to wrestle there.
Okay.
Not a lot of people live in Champaign
But why would Jeff Jordan's kid be living in Arizona?
because
How
it's
about
not
that?
Jeff Jordan's kid.
Yeah, I mean, there's a match here from 2017.
Listen,
Barry
we're
Jordan,
sending-
Team Arizona.
We're sending wrestling's watchdog David Bray there to get the facts, talk to Barrick Jordan, gotcha journalism, figure out why is your last name
What was
Jordan?
that guy's name? What was
Carl
that guy's last
Monday.
name?
Carl Monday.
Carl
You got to
Monday.
do the deep dive. You got to do the Carl
Kenny
Monday deep
Cousins.
dive, guys.
I was watching a lot more of him last night.
Yeah,
Oh
man.
my God.
He busted up the Cleveland Cleveland mail office. They're losing all kinds of mail because they were drunk on the job.
He just films them. He just films them sitting in
I
their cars.
swear, He went undercover and was
No.
just filming them in the USPS
Ben,
parking
hammered?
lot, and they were just
They were
drinking.
hammered.
Yes.
you've got to watch this. Basically, 80% of Carl Monday's job is just busting Clevelanders not doing their jobs, just literally not working.
No, 100%. That's what it is.
But
He's
dude,
like, our taxpayer dollars are not at work.
the best part about that story was normally he's like wearing a trench coat, but he went like undercover for this one.
He's too recognizable, Carl Monday. He's got a windbreaker and shades on.
Oh man, I
It
wonder,
looks like,
I wonder if Tyler can pull this off.
yeah. So we're gonna send you a picture of Carl Monday undercover. So if you see Carl on the streets of Cleveland, we know a lot of people in Ohio listen to this show. Do not blow up Carl Monday's spot, because if he's in a disguise, that means he's on the case,
Yeah.
which means he's trying to help the city of Cleveland. So don't blow him up if you see him. Let him go. Just give him a tip of the cap, and Carl Monday will know you're a part of the watchdog team.
Yeah. So all right,
gosh.
I gotta bring my pirate gear. I gotta bring my trench coat and a few disguises.
Yeah.
for
All right, here we
for-
go. This is Carl. That's
Check
what it
out
looks
this
like.
disguise from
That's
Carl.
his disguise.
Yeah, that's him undercover, Ben. So if you see him, guys, that's Carl Monday. Let him be the watchdog of Cleveland.
I don't plan on being in Cleveland anytime soon. Steph.
Well, that's unfortunate for you. Didn't you get your surgery there?
I did. I ain't going back.
You're going back.
I'm good.
Fun
I'm
times
wonder
in
if it-
Cleveland
I bet he's
today.
held some feet to the fire at the Cleveland Clinic over the years.
Yeah, well, I'm sure.
Yeah.
He is retired right now, although he did come out of retirement in 2019 to break a story about some municipal workers using one of the garages as a big party house.
They had scrippers
Oh
there.
God.
Okay.
Come on.
Maybe we can give him to freelance for us. We got a couple stories that we can't crack. We'll get Carl in the case.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Hey, Kyle had an alien hour last week, and we just forgot to do it. I don't remember what
We had
happened.
a busy show, and
But before we do the new one, we got to talk about the Haunchy people of Wisconsin and
Oh.
figure out what Ben knows about the Haunchies.
Good call.
What?
You don't know the
Haunchies?
Haunchies? Oh my gosh.
How do you spell haunchy? Is that Haunchi
Yeah.
or something?
HAUCHY, Haunchyville, and then Haunchyville. So what do you know about Muskego, Wisconsin?
Oh, that's close. That's real close.
Yeah.
Oh,
So
I know Muskego.
essentially, you've never heard this story.
I never heard the haunchy story. No.
Okay, so essentially, back in like 30s and 40s when circuses were a big deal, and I think, did we determine little people was the best word for them?
That's what we're going to go with.
Okay, little people. We're trying not to get canceled here. So little
It's
people,
hard.
they had them in the circus, and
Okay.
there's a few different stories of how this happened. The circus just went bankrupt, and everyone just kind of went their own separate ways, and they were in Wisconsin when it happened, and they just made that their home. Or they revolted against this terrible circus owner, and they murdered him, and then they were free to live as they want to
Wikipedia
live.
says they cut him to pieces. Is what Wikipedia says.
Yeah, so and then they took up residency in Muskego at the end of Mystic Road, and that is Haunchyville. That is where they live.
Do
They
we
live
know
in
that
these-
there's a Mystic Road that actually exists?
Yes.
In Muskego,
Yes, there is.
Wisconsin?
Yes, look it
I'm
up.
looking it up.
It's a private road, no trespassing, and so many people go there looking for these people that the cops are rumored to be in on it. They might be protecting the Haunchy people because they don't want people to go there looking for them. They'll issue tickets to people because they're on this private property trespassing.
Really?
Yeah, but that kind of makes you think they might be in cahoots with the Haunchi people. But essentially,
did you just say in cahoots like a Wisconsin person?
Cahoots.
yeah,
Yeah,
cahoots.
there.
Yeah, man.
Cahoots.
Hey, how far is Mystic Road there for you, Ben?
I'm looking at it right now.
Yeah,
I might go tonight with my wife.
Yeah, hop into Pontiac there. See if you can, check it out. Ozzy, he loves the little people. He might be welcomed as one.
And Ben, Tyler's got a picture here.
Oh yeah.
Of one of their houses at the end of Mystic Road here.
We call those Haunchi huts.
Yeah.
Wow.
So
look at this thing.
This is the kind of things that they live in.
Beautiful.
And if you go there, if you trespass on their land, they cut your legs off at the knee, so you have to live like they do.
Yeah, so they're short.
Dog.
And
it's only 32 minutes
Road.
from my house, Kyle. It's only 32 minutes.
Oh, you gotta go, Ben.
I gotta come visit, and then we go.
Pick up some walleye. You can have it afterwards there. Do a little fish fry. You and the missus.
Amy loves the fish fries.
Okay.
Okay, yeah. So that's catching up on the Haunchi people. I'm surprised you didn't know about that with that being so close.
I'm gonna ask my Muskego people if they know about the Haunchies.
Okay.
Yeah, are you gonna open a AWA Haunchiville?
Yeah, we're opening one right in that area. Really
See?
soon, yeah.
So you gotta call it AWA Haunchiville.
You should. You might get sued by the Haunchi people like you did the Packers, but it'd be worth it.
I don't think the Haunchies have trademarked their name. So maybe
yeah, not likely.
All right, so today we're going to. I talked about this, man. It's maybe 2 years. How long have we been doing this? Year?
No one knows.
Long time.
Yeah, no one knows. I'm talking about just Alien Hour, but
16. We did the Bigfoot one. Was when Round Rock said that there was a Bigfoot.
Oh,
you
yeah,
remember
yeah,
that?
yeah.
That was in like 2017.
oh wow.
I'd say.
Okay, so I've covered Mothman being in Chicago, but there was another incident that occurred very recently, and I'm really concerned about our Chicago friends because
we have many.
And I've talked about this with Mothman before. He is a bad omen. Anytime he shows up somewhere, something bad happens. And obviously the most famous one is when he was in Point Pleasant, West Virginia, being cited for a year and a half, and then the Silver Bridge collapsed, unfortunately killing a lot of people. And I'm concerned about CP's stomach.
It's a bad omen.
Oh, first of all,
that was
so
the
loud.
stomach?
Yes.
That was?
yes.
What?
I don't know if everyone else could hear that, but wow.
Oh wow!
I heard it. Yeah.
If you heard it, then the people heard it. Yeah, that was just a little tummy rumbler. Daddy's a little hungry. Keep going. Sorry.
But for the past couple of years, there have been an alarming number. I feel like randomly you'll just get people claiming they saw Mothman, but not these like concentrated cluster of sightings that there have been in Chicago. And on September 24th, a worker at the USPS sorting facility at O'Hare Airport.
Ooh.
Yeah. She's leaving at about 11 p.m. at night. Her shift is over, and she's walking to her car, and she thinks she sees this like figure down at the end of the parking lot, and she just assumed it was like a worker like stepping away for a minute. And as she gets in her car, she turns on her car, her headlights come on, and she can see the figure better now because the lights go right on that. But it wasn't a person, and it was a red-eyed creature. And what she thought they were wearing a coat, it was its like wings, like kind of hunched over. And she says, "I'm 5'4", and this thing looked taller than me by at least 2 feet." This thing then started making some type of chirping sound, almost a half chirp and half click, like someone was clicking their tongue, but much faster. Then made some type of screeching sound and took off running toward me. It got within 10 feet of me and took off in the air and flew above my car.
Oh my gosh.
I was screaming hysterically as I crouched down behind my car's open door, and I dived into my car head first. I was in near panic as I tried to start the car, close and lock the doors, and turn on my interior lights. Started my car and took off out of the parking lot and flew down the road till I hit the main road. And then she just sped home and told her husband about it and everything. But this is not good, especially Mothman being around the airport now. I don't like this. I don't like this one bit.
So is there anything so nothing bad has followed up with this, but
No, yeah, this is September 24th. This just happened.
Oh boy.
We're less than a month away from the incident. And
How legit is this USPS worker? We feel like she's credible.
yeah, I do.
Well, hold on. Carl Monday just told us that we cannot trust anything that's coming out of the USPS because these
I would agree.
That story
That's
was also
Cleveland.
from 1993.
maybe they clean up their accents.
Carl Monday's been doing this a long time, guys.
So maybe
He's been cleaning these streets forever.
But if Mothman's flying around airports, is he not putting himself in danger of being sucked into a jet engine at some point?
Come on. It's
The Mothman?
It's Mothman. You really think Mothman's going to get sucked up there?
I don't know. It's pretty busy airspace.
All right, well, this isn't good.
It's more, this one is more just like a follow-up. I'm collecting facts as they come in.
Yeah.
I want all of our friends in the Chicagoland area to be careful.
Because they've been seeing him on the tops of buildings previously, right?
Yes. It's just been people. He's been in like more downtown Chicago too. Like people just walking the streets and they're seeing this thing up there, and on top of buildings and stuff. And I don't know. And when he's having close encounters like that, like it really feels like he's like trying to warn these people.
Man, just a big idea. He could just tell someone, like, hey, this bridge is going to fall down on this day. So if he's actually trying to help, I think he could do a little better job than freaking everyone out.
He can't talk.
He's not effective.
We can't talk.
I'm going to call
Also,
Mothman a straight fraud right now.
That's a really bad idea.
He does not want to help anyone.
This is not good.
He doesn't want to help. He's not for the people.
I mean, I don't know if he's supposed to be for the people.
Okay.
I'm not saying that he ever was supposed to be for the people. I'm just letting you know that's a terrible idea, and you should probably take that back.
Not taking him back.
Okay.
I would ask.
Now you have the Russians and Mothman after you.
I would ask him if
I'm
I were a parent, should my kids be afraid of him?
Yes, they should be.
Okay, I mean, or should they be afraid of a bridge collapsing? You
Yes, they should be, absolutely.
know? Afraid of him and the bridge, or he's
Both.
just a warning
No,
sign.
both.
Oh my gosh.
All right, well, good update there on the Mothman. A lot of believers. I freaked out when I saw the Mothman prophecy.
That movie is creepy.
That is a creepy freaking movie.
Yes, it is.
Richard Gere. He's great.
Yeah, that movie was very scary.
Very scary movie. And I hate scary movies, so lose.
One time, I want Flo to pay for me to go back to Point Pleasant for the Mothman Festival.
Okay,
And do like some man on the street type stuff.
done. Name your price.
Okay. Because, it's just about an
The
hour
price
away from
should-
Parkersburg.
Needs to just involve your current salary.
Yeah.
But we're just going to keep that going, and then you should just go.
Okay.
All right. We'll talk about it later.
Can we just like buy the Mothman Festival, perhaps?
Probably just live stream
We
it.
just
Get the
stream
rights
it?
to it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we've been trying. It's not easy. He's hard to pin down when he's in Chicago. Okay. Why don't we do some... Well, do we want to do questions yet, Ben? Do you have anywhere else you want to go?
I do not have anything else. I want to go. Oh, you know what? Actually, Troy Steiner gave me a call yesterday. Fresno
Okay.
State, and he wanted to on the budget note. He wanted to say when they came back, they were only offered 4.5 scholarships.
Mm-hmm.
Which one over the course of 3 years was up to 9.9. So that accounts for a large portion of the increase in budget. And he said he doesn't know where you got the 1.1. The highest ever spent was 900,000, I think.
Yeah, I'll find the article. I didn't like.
So he said he wanted to clarify that to his knowledge, they were never over budget, and the increase had to do much with the increased amount of scholarships.
Okay. Yeah, I'll find where that was. Not right now, but
Got it.
by
Yeah,
next
we have
Tuesday.
questions.
Okay. First question. What are the chances we have fans in the stands in St. Louis? With restrictions, may only be people closely connected to teams that can get in, if anyone. Noticed yesterday NCAA had released their holds on some hotels that are normally blocked. This guy reserved his room at the Hyatt Arch, if you're curious where Scott Ross is staying.
Cool.
And if you wanted
Nice, Scott.
to stalk him, that's where he's going to be for in mid-March. So yeah, as this thing improves not that quickly, I can't help but wonder if that'll be the case. I can't imagine a scenario where it's full capacity.
No way. Not by
And
next March.
I think about last year, the initial, which was going to be no fans except for like the teams were going to give out like 2 tickets per like athlete or something crazy like that. So basically no fans. I hope it's somewhere between that and what we're seeing in some football stadiums where it's like, a percentage, like 50.
Yeah, you see Texas A&M going ham. They
don't
have
care.
their whole stadium full. They don't care. There is no corona in Texas A&M.
Yeah, or
that much.
Florida.
The SEC is threatening some big time, like $1 million fines.
Really?
Really?
Yeah. Against Texas A&M?
Against all schools, because there was a situation with Georgia earlier in the year against Auburn. It looked like they had way more people than they were supposed to have, and all the crowd shots. No one was wearing masks. They weren't spread apart.
Nobody?
Well, like 90% of the
Or
people they
very
would
few?
show in the shot, were wearing masks, and then like they were just on top of each other too. They weren't spread apart like they were supposed to be there. It looked like way
Wow.
more people, and then you had Florida complaining about Texas A&M having too many people, and the SEC's and for coaches wearing masks on the sidelines. So the SEC's starting to threaten some big time punishments.
Oh boy.
But I think there can be a percentage of people because
yeah.
they're not going to be as rowdy as the football fans would be.
Yeah, I don't know. Cleveland in 18. That was something.
Carl Monday.
Carl Monday. I don't know if he was in the crowd or not. If he was probably in disguise. So I can't imagine that they have full capacity fans, and that's unfortunate because that's part of what makes NCAA so cool and wrestling so cool is you get to watch the best sport in the best atmosphere, right? That's why Carver and Rec Hall and the Cavelli Center and Gallagher Iba are so fun because you have wrestling as it's intended to be viewed, in my opinion.
Man,
And
how sad is it that we're going to have to wait at least 7 years to even try the football stadium again?
That is so sad. I can't believe
so
it.
sad.
I really wish
Why won't they try it again?
I don't know. Maybe they're. I don't know. I mean, did Minnesota just say, all right, forget it?
One thing I should have brought up when we talked about the cities, I think last Thursday, because a lot of people are like, why don't they go here? Why don't they go here? Why don't they go here? Well, the cities have to bid on it, too.
Yeah, they
like,
have to
you have to
bid.
put, like, a proposal and a plan and all this stuff together, and usually the arena is working with a committee, like, because if you look at all of the sites, there's a host team.
Yes.
Or, like, when it goes to Cleveland, the MAC is the host, the Mid-American Conference. So they might not be, I don't know, maybe Minnesota was like, whatever. Like, don't want to try it again.
Yeah. Last time it didn't go so great. I mean, it would be
freaking
awesome.
Yeah. You would think, though, that they put all that effort into planning and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And if you essentially say, hey, give it to us in 2023, which is the next available bid, all that legwork has already been done. You don't have to really redo that in any way, shape, or form. So it's kind of sad that all goes to waste.
Yeah. I mean, I like when they, every couple of years they would do something that's a little different and unique. Like they did New York, which was awesome. And then they were going to try the football stadium, which a lot of people were sort of hating on it at the end, but I was really excited for it.
I was too.
I think it was going to be great. So it's unfortunate. It seems like it's going to be just pretty conventional from now till 26? Is that the last year?
Mm-hmm.
Lame.
Lame. But complaining ain't gonna do nothing. All right, next up.
Mm-hmm.
This is a common question. Can Americans enter worlds without consent from USA Wrestling? That's a negative. That question was asked yesterday, and the answer is no. And I know people have kind of cited Russia getting kicked out, and they're kind of competing under the neutral whatever, but that's not an option, as I was made to understand.
Yeah, it's unfortunate.
Highly. Would you say that Bo Nickel was the closest to 4 NCAA titles? Are there other 3-timers who came as close as he did? Well, his teammate Jason Nolf certainly.
Yeah, was that the same question? Did I misread that? Where it was the same question that said Nolf and Nickel, or would this one just say Nickel?
This one just says Nickel.
And they're
Okay.
just talking about Penn State guys, or what?
No, I think just 3-timers that were that close to 4, right? 4-time
Kemp,
finalists.
right?
Yeah, he lost by
Kemp.
referee's decision.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
garbage.
That's just the number one. I can't imagine. I hope that match doesn't exist on film. It'll probably just make us all really mad.
Yeah. So I Noel lost 6-5 in a nail biter.
Yeah.
Nickel obviously was favored to win that Miles Martin match and is 6-2 against him or whatever. So I don't know. I guess I would say both of those are equally close.
Yeah, it's the one thing that you could say, okay, if you wanted to go edge Nickel there, you could say, well, he had beaten Miles 2 or 3 times that year. And then,
Yes.
but on the other hand, the match was not quite as close as the Nolf Imar match was, which was a 1-pointer. And
Yeah.
to be fair, Nolf had beaten Imar that year. They had split that year. But yeah, it's definitely that's about as close as you can get.
Yeah, I mean, the Lee Camp obviously is a great example, and I'd have to go back and look at all the other 3-timers who made the finals. I guess I don't know. What if you saw a 3-timer that took third, also that lost like a crazy semifinal on overtime or double overtime,
Right.
or something like that.
Well, you had Ed had his Amucha Steggy loss, and then he kind of steamrolled back for third that year. His
that wasn't
freshman
very
year.
that match wasn't very close. I know he eventually injury defaulted, but it was I think 8-2 when he injury defaulted.
Right. You know, he got the first takedown, and then something was up with his knee afterwards, and not discrediting Amucha Steggy, 9 years later. But for throwing things in consideration, that would be one for sure. Okay. This is interesting. From the actual cannibal, who's a man of depth.
Gosh.
Wow, Bracky does not want this question asked.
No, actual cannibal, man. Every time we say it, I'm concerned that we're like,
Are we enabling
a serial killer?
I think that's just at this point, that's the risk we have to take.
You think what do you think the worst thing he's ever done is while he's listening to the show?
Oh man, I don't even want to think about that.
Yeah, let's not answer that question.
In Meditations, Marcus Aurelius states, "Choose not to be harmed, and you won't feel harmed. Don't feel harmed, and you haven't been." How realistic is it to believe that no matter how great the circumstance, we ourselves determine whether or not we are affected? This is a Ben Askren question here, if there ever was one.
That's deep. I like it. And I would say probably not fully agree, because say if you get shot or something, you have
Yeah.
been harmed. In fact, even if you choose not to believe that has happened. But I would say in modern society, being the victim is kind of something a lot of people like to do. And so a lot of people will play up the grievances against themselves. So I would say very good, Marcus Aurelius.
Yes, and you need to credit the actual cannibal as well for bringing that to our
And
attention.
actual cannibal.
And I think, I love it. I think there is not enough accountability, and there is a race to win the victim Olympics sometimes that I don't really understand. It's like something that people are, they want to be victims. I don't understand it. And yeah, thank you, Marcus. Okay. We talked about the Wisconsin Hammers. Okay, Bailey Brown. As Ben's hip recovers more and more, has he started to notice new improved super ducking powers? I want to see him attempt one on Burroughs.
Super duck, I think the super duck is significantly overrated. I do like it just a regular duck hunter, like step one way, go the other direction.
Mm-hmm.
And actually, so one of my things when I wrestle at younger kids, I don't like shooting anything head on, because in the case that they're stupid enough to put the head down, I don't want to smash them,
Yeah.
So I try to do, if I'm wrestling like high school kids, only misdirection stuff. So one that I always hit them with, I let them get this wrist. I step the one way with my bicep tie, and they think I'm going that way. Boom, and then I duck back the other direction. So I like a good duck under, not a super duck though.
Yeah, I think the super duck it had a real hot run there from like 2009 to 2011 maybe, but no one's really hitting it anymore. We kind of went to war against the super duck a couple months ago, I feel.
It's overrated.
It's not a good. You're not going to hit this on the best guys. It'll get you on flow. It got many people on flow back in the day, but now it's just not really gonna.
So it's Flo's fault. It's overrated then.
Yep, that was not my era.
Blame Flo.
I was just But yes, definitely blame us. It is a sick looking move though when you hit it. But speaking of which, Bubba J, he tried it obviously.
Did not work.
Did not work. Very predictable result there. All right, this is for Stephen Kyle Brackey from Tim Amos. Over under 4 placers from West Virginia. Title streak stays alive. Oh boy.
I just said at Super 32.
Yeah, as much as I would like to see the title streak stay alive, I do not believe it will. Man, I think it'd be tough for them to get over 4 placers.
Sam Herring says, "Hey, we love our Super Ducks." Sam, what are you doing, man? Super
If he can hit him,
Still in youth wrestling.
All right, yeah, hit him.
if you can hit him, hit him.
Party
Don't
on.
let these people rain on your parade.
Yeah. All right, fine. Duck
Listen,
away.
Brecky, just because I'm trying to be a wise consultant of younger wrestlers who are more likely to waste their time because they think it's cool and want to be on Flow and not make them as successful. Listen, don't be mad at me for helping these guys in their success of wrestling.
I'm not mad at you. I'm just saying there are people that can hit them and hit them effectively.
There's very, very few people who have hit them effectively on a regular basis as
True.
like a go-to scoring move.
In a regular basis against anyone who's
High level.
Yeah, high level. In a high level match.
I know, but if you can hit it, don't these people talk you out of it?
I don't know if I've seen a Super Duck at the NCAA tournament. I'm sure that I know there have been, but I've watched a lot of matches. I don't have any recollection of one. One I can remember that was high level against a high level opponent was Jan against Morgan McIntosh.
Oh, in that duel.
Yeah, he's like fixing his headgear and then he's, But other than that, I can't remember a lot of others.
Also, we post a lot less Super Ducks than we used to.
Yeah, but I don't see them.
Well, the stupid one that's getting popular right now, and I'm thinking actually maybe it's a decent move. I'm debating it in my head. I got to see it so much. But is the jiu-jitsu one where they dive on their
roll
back
under.
and they go
The
to the leg?
Imanari roll? Yeah.
Imanari roll.
Yeah.
Because if you do it properly, you're generally not getting that bad. Even if you miss the leg, as you roll over, you'll end up in kind of like a high crotch, stretched out high crotch, which I guess is not great position. But if you're really struggling to get to someone's legs, it is a unique motion that kind of throws off their sensors.
Yeah, it's sort of a strange one. Okay, from Jake. This is a good question. Will anyone get Carvered this season despite the lack of fans? This would be the ultimate credit to Carver-Hawkeye Arena if it can pull it off and carver someone without people in it. I think that's the necessary element is the crazy fans yelling at you.
Yeah.
That's how you get Carvered.
And now then there'd be like a Mothman effect with Carver Arena.
Could be. Wow. They'd really have to pull out all the stops. Okay, John Arthur. Staraki's best win in 2019 per WrestleStat was a 3-2 decision against number 17 Ben Harvey. His one dominant win against a very good, not great Skatskin freestyle. And you pick him over Kimmer? Love you, man, but Askren got it right. Penn State Homer.
Ooh.
I knew it. Penn State Homer. I knew it.
It's really stupid to call CP a Penn State Homer.
Yeah. Because it's funny because because it really switches. Because
you guys don't like the truth.
I used to get called that a lot, and then Penn State fans then started not to like what I said, and they said I was a Penn State hater, and now I'm a homer. But I think I'm just telling the truth, and I'm not biased. And all the people accusing me of bias are actually biased. I bet John Arthur doesn't like Penn State, if I had to guess. And I'm not saying that like picking Kimmer or not picking Kimmer is like the way everyone should be thinking, but I can just. And I think we all can just acknowledge that this guy's really good. And I'm not a Penn State homer at all.
Or are you?
Or am I? Yeah, all right. We'll keep the mystery alive. Okay. I don't see a lot else. I think we could probably safely...
hey, how many of you guys are going to Myrtle Beach? All 3 of you or just Bray?
I'm going, but I have a putt-putt tournament. I'm not going to be able to catch Super 32. No, just kidding. Bray's going. JD. Mike Mao. Spay.
That's right.
The fearsome
Those
foursome.
4.
That's what they call them.
That is. That's what they've been calling us for a
They
long
are
time
very
now.
scary people.
Yeah.
Hey, can we ask Bray or one of them to be back on the show on Tuesday? Because I'm sure we'll talk about Super 32 results, and there'll be more. I'll pretty much just be watching my guys, so I'm gonna miss a lot of the other high level matches. So maybe we can have them back on Tuesday.
Let's do it.
Let's do it. That sounds great.
Sweet.
All right, Tyler, we are good to go. Appreciate you guys so much. Fun week of FRL. Saturday morning, Super 32. Then the week after that, we've got the 8-man 195. Got some more news on the 150 8-man that we'll let you know soon. Very excited for that. And the completion of the November 14th card. It's not just going to be Zahid versus Burroughs, even though that'll be worth the price of admission, which there is no admission. What'd you say? Yeah, maybe I'll text Ben Askren.
Text me the card?
Yeah.
Yes.
But yeah, thanks so much. We will be back Tuesday. Enjoy Super 32. If you're traveling, travel safely. See you soon.